You gotta pay attention to the signs and symbols, whether those symbols and signs are in your eye or in your mind. Travis Sotawell, it's Pure Sound Daily Business. Just touching back home from getting certified, Coach Michael Burt's coaching certification. And sometimes I cannot give enough emphasis to a physical object, a physical idea. In this case, to be specific, a piece of paper, and the significance behind that. Now, for me, when we're talking about personality type, this is one of the ways that my fourth function of my psychological type, of the extroverted world of sensing, that I can kind of disregard it sometimes. This also goes into what would be my eighth function, furthest away from my first function of introverted sensing, in that I can disregard things that people can really look at to say this is an expertise, this is professional. These things I can kind of brush aside until, of course, I achieve them. Then, when it's in my hand and the significance of it hits me, the representation of the work I put into something, I think that's part of it, is that there are talents and skills that I have and things that I've done in my life that fall in alignment with those talents, so we could say it's come easy. So there has been times in my life where I've taken things for granted. Well, what happens, boys and girls, as you get a little older, and those things don't come as easy, or you don't get the recognition that you got when you were younger. And both of those have been true for me. So really, this symbol and sign of my achievement, of my work I've put in, means something to me. But it really is just, again, a representation of a lot of signs and symbols that have come from the intention being put out. In this last week, just getting to the live event, it wasn't the worst experience in any regard, not even close. However, there were a lot of things that caused friction on getting to the event, and things that I haven't really experienced significantly in a while. I know I've joked about, I'm a person that for just a long time that go to the grocery store and be a whole line of people and I'd be the last one in the line. And when it comes to me, all of a sudden, the network, computers just shut down. It's just, I've had this experience a lot to where I don't even get frustrated because I've learned how to deal with it. And I had that experience when the rental car, and I just laughed. I was telling my lady there are certain things, as we said, it's a Myron Golden demonstration of disruption follows intention. You make an intention, you make a decision to do something, there is disruption in your life that happens after that. That's a small thing as far as what I'm speaking about. And not all the disruptive things that happened were outside of me. Some of them were me, just not being 100% sharp. I walked past my, on the airplane, my seat. I walked past it. First time I ever did that. I was talking on the phone, wasn't super paying attention, kind of interested in that. I don't think I've ever sat that close to the front on a plane before, but we will. We will be doing more of that as we continue to build and level up. However, in my mind, I just wasn't sitting that far up front. And I walked past the seat. Then I had to turn around and walk back through a bunch of people, looking like a clown. But we laugh it off and we keep it moving. And these are the things, just these little things, these little annoyances that go along with just the frustrations and the real emotions that come with building a business. That when you have a team, leading a team, and these things that come up, the growing pains, the signs and symbols of you moving forward. So just keep moving forward. Just keep showing up every day. Brush these things off. Take it in stride. I'm looking at it now that it's like you've decided to make a move. And the universe literally has to compensate for your movement. It has to move some things around so you can move. You've been doing what you've been doing, and the universe has energetically made space for you to do that, to be that. But once you make an energetic move, which is a decision, which is an intention, it seems to me as though the universe itself has to move. Let me move some things around so this person can now be this new person that they are. So pay attention to these things. Recognize these things. That's not what I'm here to say today, though. I'm here to talk about the more straightforward, right in our face things that driven people can miss. I tend to be looking forward. So I tend to forget about what I've done to get here. I'm not the only one in that regard. People are always looking forward, achievement, goal-minded, driven people. We can tend to not take a moment and look at our achievements. We achieved the thing. We made the breakthrough. Big or small. We checked the item off the list. We need to take time to do the celebration. Breathe a little bit. And I say, in the eye and in the mind, to where I have this certificate now, but it's the work that I will be doing, and it's the change that I made over the course of last week. And now that I'm back in my regular environment and I'm thinking so much differently. That it was a big leap mentally from last week. And I thought it was just the system and the frameworks. That was a big part of it. But being in a new environment for a number of days really changed my outlook of how I see things. And how I'm coming back and just thinking bigger of how I can push this and pull this business forward. And it's the concept that Coach Michael Burt talks about of we get to the many, we get a lot of people through the one person, through the one event. What is the big thing? What is the big time person we're going to connect with that's going to take us up, not one level, but 10 levels. It's going to warp us up. What's the big move we can make? And as where I'm at right now, with putting these things in writing, very classic, right? Future boarding. It's like I'm writing down my offer. I'm writing out what I'm delivering to people. Including, we're going to make some changes with the podcast. We're going to make changes with other things that we're doing consistently. We're just hitting the leads, and we've been consistent so far with generating leads on social media. Well, not generating leads, excuse me, just getting the numbers up. So they haven't turned into leads yet. Let me pull that back a little bit. However, getting these things into writing, getting real clarity for myself, clarity for my team, and this will be giving clarity to our leads, our clients, as I'm able to say, this is what we're delivering. This is what Pure Soundell does. This is what this package will do for you. And that will be the purchases online as well as the purchases offline, where we're really talking about big numbers and dealing with companies, businesses. And how can I make those connections? As well as events. A very clear thought of how I'm going to move forward with this business. So that was a great piece I got last week. And to recognize that all the work that went into being prepared to make the change. It can be harder sometimes for all of us. What I found is when I make a big change, it's like I've already made it before I realize it. There was when I was doing 12-step work and getting sober. It's like we already said, you're working the next step by finishing the step you're on. You're already going into the next step. And in that structure, in that system, that framework, that is a life framework. It's that you're already moving forward. It's just to keep moving. Sometimes it takes a minute for you to recognize yourself, where you are, who you've become. Overall, that is my message for today, is to recognize those signs that you're showing to yourself. Recognize the symbols of your success, of your achievement. You'll take the time. Always good to take the time to have a gratitude meeting. Praise to the Most High for those who are believers. Hey, praise to yourself if you're not. You did the work. Either way, it was the higher self within us all that got us to where we're at. Let's keep moving forward. It's Travis Soderwell. It's Pure Soundell. Peace.